Hi, I'm Kimberly, Allison from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to continue with my series entitled Rhythm Exercises. These are studies in blues rhythmic phrasing. First, I'll perform rhythm exercise in the key of B flat, number 3, and then I'll break it down for you. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's break down rhythm exercise in the key of B flat, number 3. In these exercises, we take a 12-bar blues and divide it into 6 2-bar phrases. Each 2-bar phrase will use the exact same rhythmic figure. We will also alternate between lead guitar and rhythm guitar. So in the first bar of the 2-bar phrase, we'll be playing lead guitar, and then in the second bar, we'll enter into the rhythm guitar pattern. The rhythm that we'll be using for this exercise is 1 and 2 and 3 and triple it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The lead guitar will fall in the first bar and over this rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and triple it, 1. And then in the second bar on the and of 1, we'll enter into this pattern, and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now this rhythm guitar pattern is often called the Chuck Berry or Jimmy Reed pattern, and normally if you played a full bar it would sound like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. However, we're dropping that first eighth note because we've extended the lead guitar into that first half beat, so we won't come in until the end of 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that we've looked at the rhythm that we'll be using for this example, let's go on to the scale. All right, now let's look at the scale that we'll be using in this example. We'll be using the B-flat blues scale, which is basically the minor pentatonic with the addition of the blue note. We will be playing that B-flat blues scale in what we call the D form of caged. That is where the root is actually on the D string and the B-flat chord looks like a D. We will be starting at the lower part of the pattern, so not on the root. Remember, the root's here on the D string. So here is the B flat blues scale from the note D flat. So that's the fingering for the B flat blues scale in the D form. Now that we've covered the scale and the rhythm, let's go on to part 1. Here's part 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and triple it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're starting off with a bend, and we're bending up to the note F from the note E flat. So we're bending to a fifth of the B flat. That is a chord tone. So many of you know I suggest starting or ending on chord tone. So we're ending on F, which is one of the notes in a B flat chord. And then we play the note not bent. And then we're down to the 9th fret. So we're just really descending down the scale, and these are just eighth notes. 1 and 2 and keeping in the downward direction. 3 and then we're back up, and then we have a triplet. So the triplet's on beat 4, and we play the 9th fret on the high E string, and then we have a pull off here. So triplet, and then we end on the root, and that's B flat. At this point, we go into the accompaniment pattern again, which is the Chuck Berry or Jimmy Reed type pattern. So we're going to come in on the and, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on to part 2. Here's part 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and triple at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so we're starting here with a little bit of a quarter bend. We are in a major key here, and this note is the minor third. So I'm going to approach the happy third or the major third, which is here, and I'm not going to really fully bend to it. I'm just going to sort of hint at it by using a quarter bend, and then I'm going to come down the scale. So 1 and 2 and then I'm going to jump and incorporate this chromatic passage with the blue note. So 1 and 2 and here's 3 and 3 and then 4 is a triplet, triplet, and then I end on the root, which is B flat right there. So then I'm over to the accompaniment pattern, which is the same as we had before. And 2 and 3 and 4. On to part 3. Here's part 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and triple at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so we're going to start with a pull off. Now this particular lick is targeted over the 4 chord, that's E flat. So now we'll be moving our accompaniment to the E flat chord for our 12 bar blues. That's the 4, and we're going to start on the note E flat and pull off. So notice I'm starting on the root of E flat and I'm pulling off to the 7, meaning the flat 7 of E flat 7. And then I'm coming down the scale. Then I'm going to jump to here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and here's my triplet on beat 4, triplet. So notice how I use that blue note to approach the E flat here. So I landed on an E flat as well. That's my E flat, and that's the root of my E flat chord. So at that point I'll go into the rhythm guitar, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and same thing, just moved one string toward the floor. So here it is again. Now on to the next part. Here's part 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and triple at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on part 4 we're back to the 1 chord, that's B flat. So we're going to start on the root B flat and we're going to go right up the blues scale. 1 and 2 and 3 and now for beat 4 we're going to roll our finger and do a triplet from the first string. So here's the first string, 9th fret, triplet, and we've got to pull off triplet, and then we're going to end on the root B flat. And then we go to the rhythm guitar, and that's back to the B flat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's put that together. On to part 5. Here's part 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and triple at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so part 5 is over the 5 chord, that's F7 or an implied F7. We're going to start on the note F, which is the root of our 5 chord. So that's right here. And we're going to go up to the 2nd string and back. So 1 and 2. And we'll use the blue note here. And 3 and triplet. So I'm rolling my finger here on this triplet. Triplet. And then ending on the root again, F. My index is already at the root of the 5 chord, so I'm going to go into the accompaniment pattern, and 2 and 3 and 4, and notice this is the same pattern we've been using, the blues pattern, and we've just moved it over to the 8th fret for the 5 chord. One more time. On to part 6. Here's part 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So on part 6, we're back on the 1 chord. That's B flat, and we'll be starting on the 6th string, and we're going to give this note D flat just a hair of a bend, just quarter. I'm kind of again implying that major third because I'm bending the minor third a little bit sharp, and then I'm hitting the root here. So that's 1 and 1 and then I'm going to use my pinky, come back to the 11th fret, and this is part of our minor pentatonic. It's the flatted 7 of the chord, and then come up the scale. Use the blue note, triplet, and then end on the root. And then I'm back over to the comping for B flat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. One more time. That's it for rhythm exercise in the key of B flat number 3. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.